Hi everyone, welcome back to Namaste and my latest episode for my foreigner feature series that I'm doing. Again, if you haven't seen any of the other episodes, the playlist will be linked up top and also in the description. But today I have the wonderful Alyona from Ukraine. She's living in Kerala, Varkala to be specific, and I'm really excited for today's interview because the last few episodes have all been, foreigners married to Indians. And I am really excited to talk to Alyona because she is a foreigner living in India that is not here because of her marriage. Welcome, Alyona. And if you could please just start off by sharing a little bit about yourself, where you live, why you moved here, and your business. I'm really excited to hear all about it.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyona. I'm from Ukraine and I've been living in India for about 9 years. So we moved here with my husband and my friend. My husband's Alik and he's been a CEO of our company and the visionary. Alyona is a friend. She's in charge of all the delicious food that we have here. So three of us started in the hotel, but before that, Alik and I were here on vacation a year prior to that. So once we came, we just immediately found Varkala felt like home. Even though there was no plan to move, there was no plan to open any business. We were just enjoying everything and enjoying ourselves during that vacation. So traveled a little bit by the coast, been to Mumbai, come down by trains through Goa back to Kerala, a little bit around. And we, by the end of our trip, we understood that it's not enough of Varkala in our trip. So we've extended our stay. During that extended time, which was about 3 weeks, we just met people. Everything just happened to us. We didn't plan, but the plan came. And
I love it.
we met people just at the cafe on the cliff, having a dinner. People met our first Indian partner in the next table, started a conversation. We became friends, and then Alik and I were walking and we started wondering that, it's such a nice place. It would have been nice one day, maybe in the far future, to build like a small house here, to be able to escape winter, which is quite cold in Ukraine. We also were talking, just wondering. And then once we shared that idea with our local friend, we just started asking about the land, the cost, because we're coming from construction background.
Okay.
And building things is what we did and still continue to do. So by chance, he had a property which was available to see for lease. He showed us, we saw the place, and Alik and I just decided in a minute, in like 30 seconds. We just had a look at the place and it was wonderful, and everything came together. It's like stars aligned. We saw the potential and we saw the opportunity to show our view of the place, because it was like dilapidated. It was quite old, because it was one of the oldest guest houses in Varkala. So there were an old buildings, half destroyed, just a plain soil and a big coconut trees and some other trees. So then it was a big kind of playground for us to experiment, just bring it to life. So somehow it was just instant. And we are a family. We're like, we can do it together. It would be great. This is what we want. We just saw that place and we're like, let's try. So we came back home for a half year, finished all our work projects, and moved here in half year.
Wow.
Started construction, called Alyona to join us for opening the cafe right there, and just in general join us on that journey. And she did. So three of us opened in the hotel and cafe right from the beginning. It's been three of us. Then, of
Wow.
course, we grew, and we've got a big team, and it's just exciting for us, and
Yeah.
challenging as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
started with that one little place with 6 cottages, and we didn't even have cafe at the beginning because we had quite a limited budget.
Yeah.
And once we've finished construction and opened the 6 cottages, we started serving breakfast just in the garden, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then slowly we continued to renovate and expand the place,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, it's all started like that, and then it grew into something incredible.
Yeah.
Now we run a hospitality company. Now we have 3 hotels, 3 cafes, and then we have
Wow.
more exciting projects. We're building a new resort in Vagamon. Varkala projects are coming up too.
Great.
We're moving around, and
Definitely.
this is something really new, because all our projects are in Varkala
Mm-hmm.
until this one,
Yeah.
and the new
Wow.
one, it's called In the Rocks. Uh,
Ah, okay, yes.
it's located on the hill. We do have huge rocks there,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be rocking for sure as well.
Yeah. Love it. Great. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and also after this, I'll get your website, because I'll put all of the social accounts and the website description. Sorry, the website to put in the description. So we'll do all of that later. All right. So next question, what it's like living in India and some of the hardest things you struggled with when you first moved.
All right. So the struggles. Of course, our life turned upside down when we moved. We still call it between ourselves and between friends that the fact that we moved and how we moved was the absolute act of stupidity and courage.
Yeah, I bet.
Stupidity and courage, because there was no research done. We've been here for a little vacation prior to moving to different country. We didn't have anyone to support us apart from this one person whom we knew, with whom we were able to start and became friends. Coming from construction background, moving here from capital of the country to a beach town, which used to be a village by the sea, with absolutely different mentality, different climate, different everything. So the biggest struggle was to adapt to the new reality and the availability of everything. So you have a goal, you have a vision of building this thing, absolutely have no tools for that. So availability of materials, language, of course. And speaking about language, English is not our first language. We had to understand people, of course, doing business in other country. So our English has improved very much since we live here, as we've been put in the environment, as well as bits and pieces of Malayalam. And gestures, and you just communicate with eyes and hands and basic words. Also, a lot of people here use English words with they interpreted into Malayalam. So when you don't hear the accent, when you don't know that the person actually tells like about 20 to 30% of English word in the sentence, and you are not even able to identify that sometimes, because it's completely a mix of Malayalam and English and everything. Understanding people, being able to organize, and the timing. This is probably the biggest. The timing here is just something super different. You never know who's gonna show up. who's not. There are like different priorities and different mentality, and it's the south. I'm coming from the north, pretty much. I mean, in Ukraine, I'm coming from the cold weather of 8 months in a year, to a very relaxed beach town. Biggest struggle back then is absolutely the timing, because we have to build something, like, and everything just goes not according to your plan, and it's exaggerated. It's more than construction is never according to the plan. So we were quite familiar with that. But then here it's like 10x.
Yes.
Or
it's honestly, it's like a whole nother level here, isn't it? Like nothing is ever on time, and the time frames they give you, they are also never on time. And it's really something that I have struggled with, because in Australia, we are very, very punctual people. And if things get done, if contractors will say, you know, this needs to be like, this will be finished at this date, we expect that. And if there's any delays, they will tell us beforehand and say, look, there's been a delay, it's going to be another 2 weeks. But here, they won't tell you until you ask.
Yeah, exactly. It's just absolutely another level. Not only just because of the timing that it's not being followed, and it's not that I'm a very punctual person. It's just like, I mean, I'm trying to be always, and I don't like to be late. But there's like a specific twist to it. We live and work in someone's holiday. So it's our job to create a very organized space which works like a clock, and it will be relaxing, and people will come and enjoy their holiday, staying with us, visiting our places, not thinking about their work or not thinking about the timing. So it's our work to figure out how to make it work in a way that it's gonna look like we're not even there. There's a magic to it, certainly. So then what we're still struggling right now. So it's still struggle as well with the timing and organization, having into consideration the field that we work in. But then also there's the absolute magic to it, because everything happens in the right time. And
this is something that has been said a lot in the last few interviews, is that India is just very chaotic, and for whatever reason, things always just end up happening in the right time. Things always get fixed.
Yeah, it's quite a skill to be able to let go of control. And sometimes you just have to do it, and because pushing doesn't help, unfortunately. So you try to plan something, you try to do how you imagine, but then world is not only your point of view, and maybe just you just have to release and just wait until the better timing. There's the absolute magic to what happens here, and how we meet people, because we're in hospitality. Everybody asks me if I've been to many places in India. Have I traveled India? I'm like, no, not much. I've been to a couple of places, of course, and I love a couple of places to visit for work, for any relaxing timing, because it's all mixed with our profession. Vacation is what we do. And everybody comes to us. So many amazing people that we met within our premises, and just here in Varkala, because I really traveled half of the world, being able to connect with so many amazing people. And now mostly most of our team of InDa Family, the major partners and friends, dear friends, they were guests once.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I guess that kind of leads into the next question about things that you love about India.
All the opportunities that it brought to us. We can talk about different aspects, but there's definitely a few things that I would like to highlight. I love my life in India. It's in Varkala, like being able to do what we do, being able to adjust to all the struggles that we've had at the first place. It's been an amazing journey, and this is what I love the most about India. And of course, the people.
Yeah.
All the amazing people that we get to interact with, that we met here, that were brought into our lives. It's just been amazing. It's been incredible. The connections and the perspective. It's a different mentality, and there's no such thing as one mentality in India. It's so diverse, just so diverse. And of course, people are different everywhere in different countries. But then here, it's just huge. State to state, it's like traveling in different countries.
So, things that you miss about home.
The things that I miss more about home, it's just home. It's the people. So then at the same time, with all the amazing people that we've been able to interact here, build things together, share our feelings and emotions, and just being able to interact and socially, intellectually with Indian people or people that we meet here from all over the world. Your home, and you're always gonna be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
So you do have friends there. You have your family there. You have the streets you grew up on, and you have the vibe, the feeling, the atmosphere that it gives you once you visit. And so this is there's nothing specific like food or the weather. It's just absolutely the atmosphere in which we had an opportunity to experience once a year. Living in India on a business visa, we had to renew it every once in a while. So we'd have to get a new one, and we were being forced to travel. And that was also the reason why we never got to travel in India too much to explore, because we're always busy here doing something here, even though we have the time to relax and all, because we had to travel abroad. So one of our trips in a year would be absolutely Ukraine. So we'd go home once a year, even if it's to get the new visa, or mostly for that matter, or just to travel. And but then we no longer could. First with pandemic that happened, we weren't traveling anywhere for 2.5 years. We've been just here, and after that we were lucky to visit Ukraine once to 21, about 3 months before the war started.
So how does it feel knowing that you are in India and your country is at war and there's nothing that you can really do to kind of be there or even defend it?
I very much would like to address that question because I don't agree to the second part of it. We absolutely can do so much to support Ukraine, to help, to raise an awareness, to help. It's the word of this war.
Mhm.
There's only help that is always needed. We are a part of something much bigger, and we also represent Ukrainian people, and
Mhm.
we represent your point of view, your opinion. It's very difficult to do something alone by yourself.
Mhm.
So we are all a part of Ukrainians, but we're all a part of the world that that stands up for themselves. No really matter where you are, as I'm not in the army, and if I'm not doing, if I'm not defending my country with my own hands, I'm doing it by doing what I do the best, wherever I am.
Mhm.
However, our people are incredible in such a situation, being so united. So we are absolutely can help by being united, by donating. For us, it's absolutely by supporting, by coordinating, by helping the people in a multiple ways. So everyone is absolutely important, and we our strength, our power is in unity. So whenever we are doing something frontline or abroad or anyhow, because there are different, that there are multiple front lines. So I'm not a voice of generation or anything. I'm pretty much, my opinion doesn't really matter to the wide audience. It's just wherever I have the opportunity to impact, to bring value, the victory, to defend my country in any way that I could, I will use that opportunity, and I'm doing it. Of course, without the help that we can all provide everywhere to our defenders, to support our people, to support civilian people who's being bombed every single day, and having a family there, entire country could not just leave from Ukraine. So that there are different aspects to, like, I do have family in Ukraine. Every one of us have family in Ukraine. We have friends and different people. Somebody's abroad, somebody's in Ukraine, somebody's a refugee, somebody's in a bomb shelter, somebody's serving, defending our country with a weapon, somebody's in medicine, like endless. I'm grateful to India for having me, for giving me this opportunity to live here, to be safe, to build a company, to be a part of my InDa family, to do what I do. But I cannot say that I cannot do anything. So this is this opinion, it doesn't give you any hope. I mean, people can act differently in different situations, but I'm not the one who will put myself completely aside. And it's just like, even though I moved here to India very much before the war, like 8 years before the war had started, it doesn't mean that I'm not a part of it, and it doesn't mean that I can just sit and relax and do different things. You can support. It's absolutely your choice, your opinion, but we are supporting, and there's no question, there's no such question. It's just like, can you do something, or would you like to support? Half of the world agrees with the fact that another country cannot invade and question sovereignty of another country. We do have a purpose, like as a nation, to defend our land, to defend our identity, to keep and preserve whatever is possible, and to actually to defeat the enemy who's coming and killing our people and creates fear. It's a war crime. I don't know, like I don't have any other words to describe it, or like to go and like kind of cover it with something sound a little lighter. So that's just something you cannot do. And even if you do not support that thing, that's already what you can do. You cannot support the opposite side. You cannot support darkness as opposed to light. Absolutely not questionable. And it's absolutely obvious that there's a country that came with war to our country, and we are protecting it. We are defending it. We're doing everything that we can do. In such a difficult timing, all the hidden things, all the core and all the truth have been exposed. You no longer prioritize anything which is not as important as life, as safety. You won't spend your time on the people who actually thinks otherwise, because this is like, it brings to the surface the true intention. So like if someone whom I thought is sane would tell me that, oh, it's actually good and I support killing other people, and because like there are people like that. I was fortunate not to have friends like that or anything in my life, but there are a lot of people. We are also in hospitality. We have so many different people that are coming. I also so far hadn't met like aggressively supportive of the war people. You kind of you prioritize very quickly. So then if there's any thought or conversation that starts regarding the saying that situation is unclear and who's right, who's wrong, and all, to me it's clear. To me it's absolutely clear, and to half of the world is absolutely clear. You are either, there's no neutrality anymore, because neutrality is questioning the lighter side. Neutrality is questioning, is the good actually good, or I can also look to the dark side and probably there's some answers there. Maybe they're right. I learned not to prioritize faster. I learned not to get involved with anyone, even in the conversation, who's even remotely supporting the aggression, who's completely opposite to my beliefs. It's for every Ukrainian right now.
Thank you for sharing. It must be a really hard situation. I can't even imagine.
It is very hard, and I get that question a lot from local people. When they get to know that I'm from Ukraine, they would ask, how's the situation there? Is the war still going? Question only comes from a place of not knowing. You don't see it in the media, you don't see it online anywhere. You just know that it's somewhere far away, something's happening. But we also we're not involved in the wars that were happening elsewhere prior to the time that we got to experience it ourselves. And I would never wish it to anyone. If I'm asked, or if I'm not really asked, if I'm not asked, I would just support and I'd help and I'd do. But if I'm asked, I would share truthfully and don't sugarcoat anything, because it's a terrible thing. It's a war. It's all comes to it, where only help can help, where only help is where we should concentrate. Being united and not looking, don't even spend your thoughts or spend your time on discussing something which could have been questioned. There's no question. It's impossible to emphasize how our people learned to live, that you may die at any moment. Absolutely, because the missile, the bomb, anything can happen to you at the same at any point of the time, any time of the day, any time of the
Yeah.
night. People get killed in their sleep. People get
Mm.
killed going to the groceries, uh, kindergarten, hospitals, like anything, and it's all there in the news. So if you are looking to educate yourself about what's happening and don't believe propaganda. I'm so amazed by ridiculousness. It's not even ridiculousness. It's insane. Russian propaganda presents their action and how they try to cover or make any sense of the war crime that they're doing. And by war crimes, I mean there's a law to each war, which being broken hundreds of times over the day in one day, every day, for 1.5 years right now. So if you are going, if you made a decision anyhow to go at war to your neighbor, to take what's not yours, to take someone else's, to question someone's sovereignty, and if you're going with war to the country, like there are some rules that should be followed.
Thank you. All right. Last question. Any advice for other people wanting to move to India, either short or long term, based on your experiences?
I don't think I have any specific advice that hasn't been said in the other interviews. So, visa, of course, is super important. You need to figure out how exactly. If anyone wants to move, then they must have their own reasons. Whatever. And then you just follow the rules, figure out the legal side, just check. Because even though we moved here very courageously at the beginning, thinking that we'll figure everything out on site, we had our business visa from the day one. We only came here as a tourist on our vacation before we were supposed to move here. Then we went back to Ukraine, got our business visa, came back here from the day one. Follow the rules, but they are absolutely easy to follow. I mean, with the bureaucracy and with everything, it's just for us it was harder because we didn't know anyone. And we didn't like people we asked for help were not able to provide us with some of the information that we needed. We had a local lawyer, of course, who helped us establish the company, and it just took ages. Other things of the documents are also taking ages, so you definitely need help. Otherwise, you can do it on your own. You can't do it on your own. You just will be doing it the harder way.
Sometimes you just need to pay someone, like a professional, a lawyer or whatever it is, because it's just like takes away a huge headache of trying to do it yourself.
Totally. I highly recommend that. I highly recommend. It's just for us, we had a little help at the beginning, but we also didn't know a lot, and some of the things we learned the harder way. It's also, I would like to encourage people never being shy to ask questions and to question whatever the rule is there, because maybe you just interpret it somehow differently. Maybe you can think one thing that this is if you follow these steps it will bring you here, but then eventually your interpretation of a different country's laws or the way things work here could be different. And always ask questions, ask for help. hire help. Find a lot of things are easy to figure out. Don't neglect the legal part, the visa part, and understanding your base, the base that you need to start anything.
Yes, exactly.
To start a business,
right.
to go to get a job, to start a marriage.
Exactly. Yes. The legal side is very important to understand. All right. Thank you so much, Alyona. Anything else that you want to add before we finish today?
I would like to tell a little bit more about ourselves and what we do here
sure.
as a company. I want to invite everyone to Varkala right now and visit our website, which will be in the link. The link will be down below in the comments under this video. Varkala is a beautiful place. Varkala is a beach town which has a lot to offer. It is easy to travel here on your own without planning your trip with a travel agent. Like you can use that of course, but there's no specific purpose why you should come to Varkala. You can explore, you can stay here longer, do different things, do yoga, surfing, Ayurvedic treatments, because this is native land of Ayurveda. Ayurveda came from Kerala, and if you want to come for a treatment, if you want to come for a holiday, or even for a short staycation, just to explore places nearby, it's just in general like very everybody finds something beautiful about Varkala. Of course, as I said, everyone has their own reasons, but I am inviting everyone to explore, to find what you will love the most about Varkala. And we have a nice places to stay. We have a lovely food that we can offer, and we can help you out here to plan any activities on site that you may not even know about, that you wanted to do them. So we will support you here. Just come and explore. We have visit indafamily.in. We have multiple properties, different choice and different budget.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.